About the game impression overall, I'm gonna say this, the stuff that I'm repeating constantly during this playthrough. This is my very first playthrough for the Nioh 2, and we have two playthroughs for the Nioh 1. Nioh 1 by far was a way harder game, and because they represented harder boss encounters, alright? There was those dual bosses, and especially in the dual bosses in the end DLC, they were so hard to deal with. This is didn't have anything like this. The closest to the dual boss was a double horse boss, the Roach boss, and this horse boss like most of the time, like it's another horse will appear like when the first one almost dead, but like they were like very easy to manage anyway. Every bosses here were like very easy to manage on the Dream of Nioh, right? The base game bosses were very easy. The DLC were more challenging, but still manageable. We didn't spend like more than like 3 times of any bosses, I think. Maybe like 4 times on some DLC boss yesterday, I can't remember. But like on the average, we were doing like boss fight with either my first try or second try. Admittedly, because I played the first game, I had like some skills left from that game, so it was easy for me like to just fight, you know, like some reflexes still left. But then again, the build also played a big role, how tanky it was, so I didn't need to dodge much, to study the enemy movements, which I need to do like a lot in the first game, let's be honest. So yeah, overall my total impression is this, like the first game was way harder than the second game. Then another thing, the second game, the scenery in the second game was looking much better, right? There's less of these gloomy places with a lot of fog, so it was very colorful at some places. It was like, you know, scenic, quite a bit scenic. So I like the level design in the second game better than the first game by the mile. But then again, the second game suffered from the same thing that the first one did, which is the developers reusing the same levels over and over again, same monsters, same bosses. And they even brought the levels from the first game into the second game. It feels like you're still playing the first game by playing the second game, so it didn't like feel that in a way too much, you know, in that level structure, basically. While the level design was a little bit better, for sure, some levels were like quite better than compared to the first game. Monster variety, we talked about this about in first game, and monster variety in the first game were kinda not very much of like variety to go. They added a couple of monsters here compared to the first game. Definitely they were using the monsters from the first game, but there's like maybe 8, maybe 9, maybe up to 10 other different variety, and there's also new varieties in the DLCs. Still kinda easy to manage on Dream of Nioh, but like, for example, first game, there are some monsters like the demon ninjas, the Tengu. I was like so like exasperated to meet with, and was really every fight with those were kind of hard for me, so I even use a slow down talismans, which is like another thing I haven't like, used in this game, in the second game at all. Like, you know, the talisman is slowing down enemies. Nope, can like face tank and everything. But yeah, so like those fights, it was just like common yokais. Took me, you know, some measures I need to take before fighting them. I didn't feel like it was that much challenging in fighting any like normal enemies in this second game. But then again, Needs where boss fights are challenging. Yeah, the slow talisman, like I was saying, that's the one, the slow down talisman. So that's the base. My impression still like feel 8 out of 10. That's what I give it to this game, partially because it's so long and tedious, like to go through all the encounters, you know, without like much of a challenge. But decent, very decent game. With a lot of replayability, with another thing I mentioned that compared to the first game, I think they done a good job like managing that, reworking the skill trees altogether. So it's looking overwhelming in the first look, but it's actually very well thought of, and I like what they did with the skills in general here. So yeah, it's a very great game, very great Souls game for sure. And maybe sometimes we're gonna meet again with the different builds. Another thing like about people saying the real game begin only like on New Game Plus 4. New Game Plus 4, but I don't have like enough stamina and time to go through all those new games to get to New Game Plus 4. So that's like kind of, new games never like been the thing for me in any of the Soul games. Can't say much about it.